30 years, year after next, out of the Air Force, and I got out to start my business. In fact, in corporate for a few years, but other than that, I've been doing this for a living for a long time. So I want to start by asking everybody, when you started your business, why did you start your business in the first place? Okay, so just kind of take a moment to remember back to when you started the business and get an idea, why did you do it in the first place? Because what I find is, as people get into the day-to-day grind, they forget about what it is, and before you know it, you wake up and you're 15, 20, 30 years down the road, and you're still working in the business, okay? The process that I've kind of developed, in 3 to 5 years from the time that you start a new business, you can actually retire from the business, and that's really what I want to talk a little bit about today, because most of us, the reason that most business owners started their business was because they wanted independence and financial freedom. And so the question that I have for you is, how's that going for you right now? Okay. So the reason that most owners get stuck is one of 3 things. Okay, the first one is they forgot their dream. That's why I asked you to go back and think about why was it that you originally got into business in the first place. Okay. A lot of times the reason that we get off course is because we're having a problem and we ask a trusted advisor, what should I do, for this or whatever, and they'll give their opinion of what it is that they think that you should do, and as a result, you start to get off of that course where it is that you're going. Before you know it, you're down the road and you're not anywhere closer to where it is that you thought that you wanted to be. The second reason that people get stuck is, before you owned your business, what did you do? You probably worked for somebody, right? You were an employee. So you started your business with an employee mentality, not an owner mentality, and you continued, and you never changed that facet of yourself in a way that allowed you to move to that next position, to think of your business in a different way. So that's one of the 2 reasons that we find. The third one is that most business owners don't understand that growing a business is actually a systematic process. It's a recipe, okay? There are certain things that you do at certain points along the way, and if you do those things, ultimately you have what it is that I'm going to talk about with you today. And that's how you get that independence and financial freedom, and you don't have to work in your business anymore. You can come when you feel like you have to come, okay? And for the most part, the rest of the things just kind of go along. So the strategy that I want to talk about today is what I call business self-sustainability. Okay, so making the business self-sustaining so that it'll operate on its own. Okay, so it's systems that are actually making the business generate that cash flow that you're looking for on an ongoing basis, instead of you having to get up, come to work, sell a deal, do work, or pass it to whoever it is that goes out and does that work or anything like that. And generating enough level of that activity, okay, so that it'll throw off what it is that you actually need. And so another name for this that how many people have heard the term of being an absentee owner? I mean, that's really what it is being an absentee owner. The reason I call it business self-sustainability is it is actually the 3rd step in the 5 stages of a business's growth. The problem is most owners, they get to that 2nd stage, and there's good profitability in stage 2. The problem is the owner still continues to work in the business. And when I say to build a self-sustaining business, I'm not saying that you don't get up and go to work, because a lot of business owners, myself included, I love what it is that I do. So it's not like I don't want to get up and go do what it is. I don't have to get up and go do what it is really where we're trying to get the business to. So, additionally, there's probably more than 7, but these are the 7 benefits that I see, and the reason that I think that these 7 benefits are important and why you should even consider this as a strategy that you want to employ is because I've seen too many times when these disasters, the antithesis of these disasters occur because people didn't put the time in to make sure that these things were in place. So the first one is it decreases the risk for your family. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, what would happen to your family as a result of you owning a business at that point? Okay? Think about that. And a lot of people, the first thing, and this is usually the pushback that I get on this one, oh, well, I got life insurance. Well, I am a living example to the fact that, you know, it isn't necessarily death that will cause you to not be able to work in your business. I had a stroke in September of 2016. You know, thank God it didn't affect me to the point where I couldn't come back and do what it is that I did. But if it would have devastated our family as a result of that. So there's a perfect example of what I mean by decreasing that risk. If the business will operate whether you're there or not, you don't have to worry about your business, your family being taken care of. And you can have those other things, you know, that you know, you can afford to pay for life insurance. You can afford to pay for what disability insurance, which is what most owners should really have disability insurance before. It gives you the independence that you want. You can go and come whenever you want because you don't have to worry about whether it is that deal gets closed that you've been working on all that time. It's somebody else's responsibility to make sure those deals are happening. Okay, you're acting actually as a real owner. An owner owns a business, doesn't have to work in the business, right? And that's really what we're talking about. What I'm going to show you on the second page here, I've got a worksheet, and we're going to work through this real quick so that you get the independence and financial freedom that you really looked for when you started your business is no different than the exercise that a financial planner will take you through, okay? Which is, you know, how much money do you need to live the life that you want to live, okay? And we got to figure that out. The only difference here is we can grow your business so it'll throw that amount of net income off of the business on an annual basis much faster than you can squirrel away the millions of dollars that you need in order to have, you know, that come off at a 2 or 3%, you know, interest over time or anything like that. So it gives you the financial freedom. The fourth one is it increases the value of your business. Anyone that knows somebody that tried to sell their business and couldn't sell it because it was an owner-operated business will understand what it is that I'm talking about here. I have business brokers that I've worked with. One of them said I had 2 identical businesses that I was working with at the same time. And the one was owner operated and the other one was not. And the one that was not owner operated sold for 3 times what the owner operated business did. Okay? He got like a little over $250,000, $300,000, I think he said, for the owner operated business, and he got almost $1 million. Somebody will buy the other one for almost $1 million. So that'll tell you the difference in value of what it is. It improves your personal and your business cash flow. How? Well, guess what? We're building the company so that it nets what you need to live on an annual basis. You don't have to draw a salary. You can draw a salary. Okay? If you continue to work, you should draw a salary, right? And if that's the case, then what are you going to do with all this money that's getting thrown up? Okay? You probably should go sit down with, you know, financial planner and figure out how do I protect this so that Uncle Sam gets the minimum amount of money that they really need, that they should be taking from that at the same time. So it can help you from a cash flow perspective for sure. That provides you more options in an exit plan. Okay? How many people have an exit plan currently? Guess what? The first thing that you should have is an exit plan before you start the business, because that's going to dictate how you grow the business. So if you don't have an exit strategy, you should be talking to somebody at least about what it is that they do, because that's going to affect what it is that you're going to have to do with the business. If you wait, and this is typically what happens, people will wait and say, I think I'm going to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. Guess what? The minute that we start working on that is when that clock started. So you've owned your job for 25 years, and now, you know, now I'm gonna decide and I'm gonna do that. We're saying do it up front and reap the benefits of it over the 20 or 30 years that you say that you really want to work. Because you never know when something's going to change in life, it's going to change what it is that you want. And then now I'm stuck, I have to do it, as opposed to I can step away and I can just say, Joe, take over, for me day to day and go do what it is you want. And then the seventh thing is, by doing this, you actually open yourself up to the fact that investors and corporate buyers will be more interested in your business. Why? Because investors don't look at a business in terms of the same terms that you do, okay? It's not, well, can I take enough home or whatever. It's like, I'm going to invest this money and this is the return that's going to come. And it's going to be based off of whatever the cash flow of that business is at that particular point, okay? So if you don't set it up so that it's cash flowing and profitable in some way, shape, or form, investors aren't even going to want to talk to you, okay? So this is the other reason why you want to make sure that these things are in place. So those things make sense. Got your attention. People are saying, yeah, I want to do this with my business. If this is the case, then the 4 steps really that you need. The first step is you need to reconnect with that dream. What was it that you originally wanted when you started? And you need to say, how much money do I need in order to live that dream? Okay, once I understand that, now I can determine how much income that I need based off of that. Okay, so the formula that we need, and that's if you turn the sheet over that I've got there, there's a little worksheet. So if what I desire, and the example that I use with the fictitious company that we use with some of the training, online training programs that we offer and stuff like that, are the Matthews have appliance repair business, and then Lance comes today. Lance is one of my clients, actually has a repair business too, so they want an annual income, they want $250,000 because they want $125,000 for themselves, and they want $125,000 of retained earnings to keep in the business to continue to grow the business beyond that point. So $250,000. And on average, over the last 3 to 5 years, they've averaged about 12% net profit. Okay? So you just have to figure this out for yourself. Plug it in there, divide the 250 by 12%, and that tells you how big you need to grow the top line of your business. So in this example, it's $2,083,333. Okay? And I'll give a little bit about the situation with this one. I mean, in the previous year, they did like $1.2, $1.3 million. Okay, so they're already there. What's the problem? And this is what I find a lot of owners get into. They're not thinking this way, so they haven't set the right objectives so that they're putting the right pieces in place so that they can remove themselves from the business. Okay, they continue to work in that sales job, or in that production job, or in that general manager's job, or whatever it is in their business, and they have nothing within their annual operating plan to put those things in place. So that's the other piece of all of this. So the third step really is understanding what stage of growth that you're currently at. Okay, remember I said there were 5 stages. Casey asked me to come back next month as well. So I'm going to come back and we're going to go through what are the 5 stages and the 8 factors that actually influence business growth. So that'll get all these folks to come back again next month. We just got to get some more folks out of where. And this is the topic of the book. And Greg said I give him a couple of books to raffle off as well. The book basically goes into what are those 5 stages of growth, okay? And we have a tool that will actually in the book, and next month we're going to take you through, there's a quick check, just yes, no questions, add up the score, and it tells you at what stage that you're in based off of the little decision tree that's with that. Once I understand at what stage that I'm at, guess what? These are the 8 factors that influence growth. Which ones are you doing well? Which ones are you doing poorly? And you just work on those things, and each stage has one and only one goal. When you achieve the goal, the business organically grows to the next stage. Okay, and this isn't my opinion. This is based off of research that I found in the Harvard Business Review from back in the 80s and the 70s and that sort of thing. It's just I'm applying it and I'm trying to get the word out because too many business owners are stuck in their business. And my mission is to help more people to really achieve that independence and financial freedom that they want in life. And then once I know, here's where I want to get to, I know this is where my business is right now. I got the 2 points of the line. I just build a plan now to get me there, and that's what helps me to get that. And that's pretty much what it is that our business, that Business Growth Simplified is really all about, is helping business owners to kind of figure that out and then lead them or help them along the way in order to get there. So if you can figure out how much you want, put it on here, okay? You've already started the first thing, and then what I'd want to leave you with is what are those other things that you can think of that you would need to do in order for you to be able to remove yourself from the business, and maybe begin to list a few of those things on there and begin that process for yourself. If you want to find out more about any of this or whatever, I listed on the back. These are some resources that we have available. So there's some free ebooks you can download off of the website. The book, obviously, we got a YouTube channel that's got tons of videos and stuff on it. And then we've got, happy to help out for anybody to figure any of this out if they've got any questions or anything like that as well. So, thanks for that. Find out more about this topic in the description below the video on the BGS YouTube channel, and join our Facebook group, the BGS Collaborative, to interact with other small business owners growing a self-sustaining business.